Hey everybody, and welcome to another RCT2 review. Today we're continuing our review of the Head-to-Head 10 contest parks, and we have reached the final match of round robin play. This is round number 5 and match number 3. Two really great parks that we're going to look at here in the next two videos, and when I say great, I mean probably some of the best in the contest. This is Cedar Point's Maverick by Mr. Brightside 711 at 80% share, Tolsimir at 10%, and Suormot at 10% as well. Every so often in head-to-head we do see recreations or kind of heavily influenced things, and funny enough that one of the most well-known recreations previously was also a Cedar Point coaster, Cedar Point's Raptor, but now we have Maverick. And if you are at all familiar with Cedar Point, or you've been there or anything, you're going to see all sorts of the similarities here. This is actually one of the best recreations I think I've seen in a long time. Well, let's start with the coaster, since that is probably the right way to go about it. We've got our hold block right down there, which is correct. And we come off here to our vertical drop. Great interaction right there, as with the real thing. And we got these kind of nice windy bits through the canyon. Great airtime over that hill. Our twisted horseshoe roll, I think Cedar Point calls it, which is really just corkscrews connected by a corner. But, you know, they can call it what they want, I guess. Pause here, and then we have our launch tunnel underneath the lift. And we get up through the launch. We got the trim brakes there on the uphill. Go through our canyon here, get our interaction, and then we have our last couple of bits and pieces. It's actually kind of amazing how well the new pieces do to really get some nice flow into this layout that you really couldn't get necessarily before. So I think that was nicely done. You can look here from another angle too. Good theming. There's not a lot of theming on the real thing, but it covers it pretty well. Supports are super nicely done. You can see the interesting odd supports here where the roll was at one point before the ride opened, and you usually find the roll pieces right here, which I think is a fun little touch. In reality, they're down in Mansfield, Ohio, in a field, but kind of nice to see that little bit there. So let's take a look at everything else, because there's a lot more. Here's Steel Vengeance kind of going through its little paces there. Got a train ride here, so this is the Cedar Point Lake Erie Railroad. We've got a little caboose parked here on the corner. Some of the best kind of like scrub brush type landscaping I think that I've seen. Some really nice work here from the landscape side of things. We've got a couple of carriers here for the maintenance guys to take these coaster trains and send them off to central shops. Got our maintenance guy here and a couple of the maintenance vehicles. Really nice little touches throughout. Love the diagonal brakes here. We zoom in, we even see here these green little dots. These are sensors. And that's a pretty cool touch. I'm not entirely sure I've seen that terribly often. Also our diagonal catwalks here, which is quite nice. Great sign, Maverick sign right there, and also this one here. Very nicely done using some. That is pretty cool. There's lots of little touches here. Q is reusing the log flume Q, which is kind of nice. Here's the actual piece of the log flume right underneath, so good touches there. So somebody surely knows their Cedar Point history, and it's always nice to see that shine through. Here's some Cedar Creek Mine Train with some really nice supports on there. I love that these coasters are still operating, the ones off to the side, because it's not just there as like a static thing. It actually feels like you're you know, the whole park is here and we're just viewing a section of it, so it is nice to see that, in my opinion. Skyhawk here, beautiful structure, done very well. We've got the nice hacking as well for these bits and pieces. The coaster cars facing opposite directions as they should be, and done quite nicely. Here is Snake River Falls, RIP soon. I believe that's closing later this year. And then we have a couple of good buildings here. We're going to look at these a little closer in a bit. Fun touch here on City Hall, where we have the Six Flags sign being installed. So it's kind of fun, because this is going to make this park definitely a product of its time. So you'll be able to look back and go, oh yeah, that's when Cedar Point and Six Flags merged, isn't it? So great little swing here using the standard swing hack. Nice structure to it. The detail is pretty good on this one. Love the transition here between the areas with the different kinds of pavement on the half diagonal walkway, as well as some of these little bump out bits and pieces. Really just great use of half diagonals in general on this one. Here we got our rapids. We've got Thunder Canyon here. I love the fact that they used a different color of water on this one, because usually you see a lot of these rides do have some slightly off color things from a typical water from like the lake over here. So using the rotating drum for the rotating platform, I guess, for the load, which I do like that. Very nice use of the stairs just here as the belt, which actually looks pretty good, I think. We'll see in the operator booth above the entrance and exit too. Just good little detailing all throughout on this one. I love this big light little here. Got some cool back of house spaces as we spin around on the back. I don't know if I've seen the golf cart like this before, but that's quite nice. Guessing it probably exists before, and I just haven't seen it. Lockers here on the side too. Here's one of the ride entrance signage and the vehicle there. Fun little details too with this like hose coming across with these guys that are watering the plants. If you spin around to the side here, you just get to some really pleasant just scenes and landscaping. This little fire pit that's going on here, these seats around this tree. You get a whole lot of fun little bits like this backstage steam vehicle and this this little vehicle as well parked here as some theming. Just all the little touches that you would expect are picked up on this one. What's fun on this too is we can actually pull out Cutaway view and we can take a look at a lot of different things here. A little bit. So first things first, we can see our queue here, which actually I think this is pretty cleverly done. There's always that bit of back and forth push-pull between having a quarter tile queue where it feels a little more in scale with everything and the necessity of the actual in-game peeps being a full tile thing. So I really like this where they've used the quarter tile here in the middle to get that density and everything that you would expect, but these are all static peeps. So when you're looking at it, you don't really pick up that necessarily, and it just kind of feels like one cohesive queue. I think that's really well done. Coming out of the station, we do have our egress elevator here, or the handicap elevator, which I love. Little gift shop here that I know I've spent way too much money on in real life, as with most of the point stores. Sitting around to this restaurant here that I believe is the Chick-fil-A. I don't know now, but love this just detailing, nice front porch kind of thing. Got our kitchen in the back here. So really thinking through all of those little back of house details like we saw with Old Smoky's last go around. And then over here too, we've got this restaurant, which this one is great too, because you've got the counters here on either side. You've got the fryers in the back. Really great amount of detailing on here, and I like the level of detail for sure. I mean, you've got your walk-in cooler here. You've got all your viewing menu boards up top. You've got the sneak guard glass on here. Lots of really nice little touches, and their gift shop here as well. Just those kind of touches to me are really what elevate a park into really what this one is, which, like I said, to me this is one of the best parks in the contest so far. This is probably an easy top 5 to me. Love our little stands here. These Ace Fanatic signs have been absolutely fantastic. Love the use of the trash cans too that are angled properly to the pathway, so it actually fits really nicely, and just the path texture in general. So there's always that little bit of push-pull about kind of what we call crunch to add that detailing and just texture to pathways, but I think there's definitely a balance to how much crunch it just becomes messy versus this, where we have these great kind of seam lines for the concrete. Got a little bit of like blemishes here and there. Here's one that was clearly replaced at some point. It's a bit of a different color. And then just nice transitions into the different parts and pieces, like this ride platform here, where we have a bit of wear showing off the kind of cobbled stones underneath of it, and little things here like the tree leaves that have fallen down on everything. That's pretty cool. Here we have our little tour group here, I think, which is kind of fun. Little details like that, and just very kind of nicely put together. It didn't mention the bins, loose article bins here. Those are some great objects if you don't have them already. Get a little bit of a better picture of the station here now that we're using Cutaway also. So quite nice for all of that throughout. They didn't necessarily have time to get to the interiors on either of these, which is a shame, but at the same time, I think there is plenty to see here. If I run back here to the coaster one more time as we close out, we actually have a little bit of theming down here that I think a lot of this doesn't work as much as it used to. I think there used to be smoke and all the train crossing lights and sounds and everything, which I thought was super detailed way back when, but it's all here, and something you'd only see if you use the Cutaway, which is kind of nice. Also, the bi-rail track here versus the tri-rail throughout everything else. Even having the little electrical boxes here for all of the launch stagers throughout, so definitely a very nice touch on all of that. So I think that's actually going to cover us for this one. There is so many little details to see, and just a super pleasant atmosphere in general. I would highly recommend you download this one and take a look. I'll provide that link down in the description of the video, and you can also download OpenRCT2 via the link below, because you will need that to view this map. There's one more now in round robin play, and we're going to take a look at that next time, and then we're going to go into the finals. So I hope you've enjoyed this series so far. Do make sure you follow this channel if you haven't already, so you get those notifications when these come up, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.